it down out in the cold, faithless and dark, your story's untold. Come take my hand and walk there with me. I know a place where we can be free. There is a light shining for you, guiding your way, helping you through. And shadows and gloom are all that you see. We'll find a place where we can be free. From the mountain top down to the...
Hi guys. Okay, so welcome to my week. Today is a completely new type video because, well, first let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Jody, and we are going to talk about why I do not eat animals, no animal protein. And I'm going to give you all of the information that was given to us and the research that was given to us that helped us come to the conclusion, and it literally saved my life. Going plant-based saved my life, other than, of course, Jesus and supplementation, but it is all a whole thing, and I believe that God led us to this holistic healing method in order to save my life. So we are going to start there, but we are going to deep dive, and there's a lot of information. And I'm also going to link below all of the things that I talk about today. So if you are interested, you can go in and take a deep dive and read up on your own. Now, number one, I'm going to clarify this from the very get-go. I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV. And if you're old enough to get that reference, then you're on my side. Anyway, I am not telling you to do this. This is not medical advice. This is just what worked for me. This is what we did. This is how it came about. And this is exactly why I am doing this. And let's get started. Oh, and if you're new, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you're here. Now let's get started. All right, what I thought I would do is, instead of just telling you why we did it just in a nutshell, I'm going to go ahead and give you the background and how the process that we went through to get to our decision. And the very first thing that we did was we watched this documentary. It was called Food Matters. It was produced in the 1970s, so it wasn't a recent documentary. It was quite a ways back there. But after watching that documentary, that kind of just spurred us on to watch other documentaries. There was Food Matters, the China study. There was one other one. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, there was a whole, I mean, if you go on now, there's a whole bunch more documentaries on it. But at that time, we watched it and we thought, whatever, everyone has an opinion, right? But it was intriguing. It was like, well, that was so long ago, whatever. Well, then, after doing chemotherapy, after it not working, and then sending me home to die, and just things, my body was just not having it anymore. And literally, I was going on hospice, and my husband had a Sunday school. He taught Sunday school still does, for over 30 years. And one of his Sunday school students had been in the hospital near death. Well, her dad was just searching for some kind of answers, and he came upon this doctor called Dr. Mohrdar from the Mohrdar Institute, who is located still to this day in California. Anyway, he went to him, and long story short, this doctor gave an answer where traditional medicine could not give an answer for his daughter's illness. And his daughter recovered, and is healthy and married and has kids now. All right, so that gentleman told my husband and said, hey, you should really try Dr. Mohrdar because he just literally saved my daughter's life. And my husband's like, okay. My husband, being an ex-cop and stuff, was very suspicious of anything that didn't come from a traditional medical provider. It was like if the doctors went to school for 13 years, they know better than anybody else. So that was his mindset. That was also my mindset at the time. But after being so sick and just traditional medicine not working for me, I didn't not believe that it would work. I mean, it just didn't work. I wasn't against it in any way, shape, or form. So anyway, he talked to this gentleman and they gave us the number of Dr. Mohrdar. So we went in for a consultation, and everything Dr. Mohrdar was saying was the same thing that this documentary, Food Matters, and the China study was all based on. It just kind of like a light bulb moment. Everything just kind of like started working out all together. So we prayed about it and we went in and we said, we don't have anything to lose at this point. Let's give it a try. The very first thing that the doctor did was take us off all animal protein. And I was an Atkins girly. I'm just telling you, I was sold out on protein and getting enough of it and no carbs. And, I was 100% an Atkins girly for a very, very long time. I was super skinny, and that's how I stayed skinny, was doing, animal proteins. But anyway, so the first thing he said was, stop eating sugar and stop eating animal products. And we were just looking at each other like, what else is there to eat? It's like, I was just like, are you kidding me? All right. So within, and I'm not kidding, within 12 weeks after doing, and he gave us supplementations too, gave us every kind of vitamin, mineral. I mean, he makes his own vitamins and minerals, has his own line. He gave us all of this supplements to take, powders and stuff, just to build my immune system back up again, because after having so much chemotherapy, blood transfusions, and just everything, surgeries, my body was just, it was dying. And so, plus the cancer, not just the damage from the chemotherapy and the radiation and the surgery, but it was getting it from all different sides. So he explained that the very first thing that we have to do is build your immune system up. We need to build your body back up. Now, that's what the supplementation was for. But the reason for not eating animal protein, a lot of people think it's because they are hormone fed and there's the way they're processed and it just has so much bad things in it. That is why you don't eat animals. And that is a good reason not to eat animals, is because they are hormone fed and they do have a lot of different chemicals in their bodies nowadays. But you can also get grass fed. You can get, you can get animals that are not fed with and made to grow with hormones. But that is not the reason why we don't eat animals. So I'm going to clarify that right away, because a lot of people think, oh, well, you can just get grass fed and eat your protein. But that's not the reason why. And I'm going to tell you right now. So I've got my notes because Jody does not remember things well and spit things out very well without, having a list. So the reason for not eating animals is because animals have a type of protein in them that is called casein. It's CASEIN. Okay, that is the actual link or the actual protein in animals, because there's protein in just about everything we eat. There's protein in lentils and beans and nuts and seeds and tons of plants, and even in red potatoes, the skin of red potatoes. There is protein in all of that. But casein, if I'm saying that right, is the protein that comes solely from animals. You don't get it from plant protein, you get it specifically from animals. All right, so that is the protein that I'm going to be talking about. So when I talk about protein, animal protein, that is exactly what it means, casein. All right, so there was, or is still, he's still alive today, Colin Campbell, PhD, and Thomas M. Campbell, the second, MD. Those two gentlemen, they come from Cornell University, Oxford University, and the Chinese Academy of Preventive Medicine. Those are their three main institutions that they studied at, worked at, taught at for many, 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 many years. All right, they did the most comprehensive nutrition study ever conducted. It was called the China Study. It was done over a period of 30 years. I mean, all of his research, everything was not just done on a controlled group or this or that. I mean, it was a detailed, in-depth study that continued over 30 years. And all of this information accumulated into what is now known as the China Study. And there is 3 different versions, I believe, of the China Study. They've updated it with new information because the more they learn, the more that you know, the more information that's been added to the China Study. But the basics of the China Study remain the exact same, and that is the protein found in animals. All right. Interestingly enough, Dr. Colin T. Campbell, he was a nutritional biochemist at Cornell University. Originally, this is the ironic part, his dad, his family was longtime farmers. They were cattle farmers. And they basically made their living off of selling beef and milk and all of that. He went out to prove that the reason people had diseases is because they did not get enough protein, animal protein and healthy protein. So his whole study, his goal was to prove that and find out, to research why there were all these diseases. And the specific diseases that he was targeting was breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Now, not to say that all the different cancers that we have nowadays cannot be affected by that, but that was the actual targeted diseases that he was studying. The main, I'm going to say this wrong, epidemiological study was conducted 1970s through the 1980s primarily. That's when they did, they lived, they studied, they gathered their test subjects, everything. They actually lived in the different villages and different places all around to study the different countries that had the highest heart rate, heart attacks, diabetes, breast cancer, etc. And he studied, his team studied the areas that did not have as high of heart disease, breast cancer, etc. So they didn't just study, they studied both, both areas. All right, so he examined the diet, the lifestyle, the diseases among 65 rural Chinese counties, all right? Compared populations eating mostly plant-based diets, some eating very low animal protein diet, and he started seeing, remember, he was going in to tell them they needed to eat more animals, right? That was his goal. He was going to educate these people. But this is what happened. He found dramatically lower rates of breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, heart disease, and diabetes in the counties that ate mostly plant-based diets. The second lowest of all of these diseases were the people that ate very low animal protein intake. All right, those were his why is this happening? So he went and he studied further and he went deeper. Now, if you're an animal lover, this might upset you because I am an animal lover, and it kind of made me a little sad because when you watch one of the documentaries, I think it is Food Matters. I think it's in all of the different documentaries, but they actually show the lab rats and everything. But anyway, I used to have a pet rat, so it upset me. So if this upsets you, I apologize, but this is exactly how they did one of the studies. All right. The rat cancer study was the smoking gun. This is what kind of changed everything in their goal and what changed the the direction they were going. They took rats exposed to aflatoxin, which is what causes cancer. It's the cells that cause cancer. All right. They manipulated the rats' diets with 20% animal protein, casein, which is found in milk. That's what it's mostly commonly known. Casein is the protein in milk, but it is also in all animals. But anyway, 20% animals, they were given 20% animal protein. The other study group was given 5% animal protein. The third group was given plant protein, wheat, and gluten protein. Okay, those were the three groups. They found that rats fed the 20% animal protein developed liver cancer. Cancer growth turned on. The rats that fed 5% animal protein did not develop cancer at all. When researchers switched the diets mid-study, they switched what they fed. They fed the plant-based or the 5% animal protein to the one that was, the cancer was growing, and then the group that was not. And what happened? Simply cancer growth could be turned on and off by simply changing their diets. This is crazy. All right. And the third group, the plant-based protein rats, little critters, did not get any cancer, and they did not, the aflatoxin, that's the cells in the body that you have naturally, they did not develop any cancer cells. They didn't get out of control and start growing, nothing. They were healthy little rats. But when they switched them, instantly they had their cancer aflatoxin, their cancer cells started growing. All right, now they switched them back and forth. They changed it all around to all different kinds. And the rats that had these big it was so sad, all these big tumors and stuff, they changed it, late stage cancer rats, they changed it to plant-based, and guess what? It was like turning down the cancer and the tumors. It was amazing. Here's the tumors, and it just started shrinking and was gone. All right, so that is the main trigger that changed the whole study that they were going for. So then they studied more people. They studied different areas and different eaters and different everything. Well, then they found out that the areas, the counties that were plant-based and ate very little like animal protein, maybe some fish here and there, had the lowest risk. They had the lowest cancer rates. They had no heart disease, and they didn't have diabetes. The opposite had all of that. Okay, so anyway, that is just the cancer China study in just a nutshell. There is tons and tons and tons more studies and proof scientific proof, not someone's saying it, but scientific proof that is proven over a 30-year span that showed that animal protein turns up your cancer cells and it causes the cancer to spread. Now, this is important. Not everybody will get cancer because they eat animals. That's not the way that it works. However, it does make your risk higher. And then if you already have cancer, it puts a flame under it and it makes it grow. So that is why we went plant-based. And this is what happened. 12 weeks, my tumors, everything, it was in my bones. It was pretty much, it was just everywhere, stage 4. And basically they're like, we have tried killing it. We've tried everything we can, and it's just not responding to the chemotherapy, which happens, especially my type of cancer was resistant to specific types of chemo and only would respond to specific chemotherapies in general. So I didn't have a lot of different options. All right, 12 weeks into our plant-based diet and juicing, we did an intense juicing protocol for the 12 weeks. We had, I think it was 6 weeks, we were really hardcore. All I drank was green juices, and not the kinds with the berries and the good stuff in it. It was like the hardcore juices. And the reason for the greens is because my body was so beat down. It needed all of the nutrition in me without my digestive system having to work. Because people have asked, well, it's better just to go ahead and eat a bunch of salad and greens because then you get the fiber. But at that point in time, my body was so weak and it was so sick, it could not digest everything. It would take too much energy to eat that much greens and veggies and all of that. I needed the intense nutrition without my body being traumatized and without it having to work hard at it. So in that 12 weeks, my body was built up, my immune system was being recovered, and of course we had the supplements as well. And then he moved us into a plant-based diet after the juicing, and went back for my 12-week scans. First, we went back at 6 weeks and my cancer markers were down. And then they started doing a bunch of scans and kind of like, hey, your markers are down. What's going on? Okay, bottom line, at 12 weeks, my scans were clear. Now, hand to God, this was a miracle. 100%. My doctors, my oncologists will say, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And we would tell them what we were doing, and they're like, I don't know anything about it, but I've heard a lot of people say really good things about Dr. Mohrdar, and whatever it is, keep doing it. So at that point in time, I just completely turned my back on traditional medicine, and I started doing more research on holistic medicine. And in this time, I have learned so much about how chemotherapy works and how the two different perspectives of the two different ways. Chemo works by going in and kill the cancer cells, kill the tumors, get rid of it. Then there's different chemos and different treatments that block the cancer cells and block the hormones that feed the cancer cells. There's all these different types of stuff. But basically, it is all kind of after the fact type thing. It's like you already have cancer and we just need to get it out of you. We need to kill it. We need to surgically remove it. We need to radiate it out, whatever. So now, Dr. Mohdar's perspective was, we need to make your body so healthy and have all this like area where cancer cannot grow. and we need to turn off the protein, we need to turn off the growth, we need to lower everything, and then we need to get your immune system built up, so when the bad cancer cells and the negative come in, instead of chemo fighting it, your body fights it. And your body is made so miraculously. I mean, it reminds me of the scripture where it says, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is so true, you guys. Our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are made to heal. Our bodies want to heal ourselves. We want to. When you get a cut on your hand, it doesn't just stay there forever. Your body will start automatically healing it. And sometimes it needs assistance. Yes, it does. Sometimes it needs some stitches to close it up, but your body will heal. I mean, it is made, it automatically wants to recover. So by doing all of the things that we did with Dr. Mohrdar, it put us on a path that has changed my life. So that is why we do plant-based, and there's a lot more. When I was getting really anemic because my body was so torn up from all the cancer, the radiation, the chemo, I didn't want to do more blood transfusions, and I'm not against them. I will do them if I have to. So we started doing wheatgrass, because back in World War I, they used, when they couldn't get blood for soldiers that were bleeding out, they would use wheatgrass, which was everywhere, and they would substitute that for blood, and it put iron in the system and built people back up so they could get to a safe location and then get the blood that they needed in surgeries, etc. So anyway, I don't know how anybody figured out to eat wheatgrass, but anyway, we grew our own wheatgrass. It was disgusting, but I got used to it, and we got a little juicer thing that does juice wheatgrass only. Started doing wheatgrass shots, and I got my anemia taken care of without having to have more blood transfusions. Now, since that time, I have not followed up and not been as dedicated to the protocol as I once was, because once I got years out, I got lazy and I started adding cheese back in and yogurt back in, and, keeping protein low, animal protein very low. But the minute my cancer markers go up, I cut out all animal products. I go back to the basics and I start juicing again, and like clockwork, my cancer markers go down. So I'm not saying that it cures all people. I'm not saying that it has cured me, because my cancer has returned repeatedly, but I have learned to live with my cancer instead of trying to fight it and try to kill it. And I think that is the difference. Where I came from, the whole goal was get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Now the goal is you can stay here, but you cannot spread, and you gotta mind your manners, and to reduce the risk and the spreading of the cancer. So, and that's how we've done it. And now I'm not saying that tomorrow my cancer couldn't come back everywhere and I eat a bunch of vegetables and still die, because your body is, vegetables aren't the miracle. Chemo is not the miracle. It is, cancer is a vicious, vicious thing. And sometimes it wins. And that is the reality of it all. But for me, it has been a absolute, complete, total, just a way of life for us now. Now, there is one channel that I started watching. It's called Chris Beat Cancer. He has a video channel that interviews literally hundreds of doctors, and they give so much information that I get overwhelmed. I can't watch very much of it. I'm like, But if you want to follow up with that, then I suggest going to his channel, because he also did the same protocols, and there's tons of different spin-offs and takeoffs, but they're all based on no animal protein. And there's they're learning different herbs, like turmeric lowers inflammation. I mean, there's just so much in nature that can cure so many things and control so many things. So I would encourage you, if you are interested, to go to his YouTube page and take a look, because it's 100% free, tons and tons of information, and it's all from very reputable doctors, not, you know, people writing a book about it, not a GP that wrote a book about it, or, you know, it's all based on very solid scientific information. So there you have it. So that is it. And yeah, so I'm gonna let you go because I got to get back to work, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I think I've got to work until late, and then I will see you in the morning. Good morning, you guys. So I thought I would chat with you while I did my hair. So several of you asked about what hair extensions that I use and why I use them. Well, I thought I would show you why that I use them. So the thing is, my hair, ever since I've lost that 100 pounds, my hair is so thin. I mean, I wish you could feel it. It is like very, very thin. It is growing out. I've been using the red light therapy, so all of this hair right here is all new hair, and it's nice, and it's coming in nice. But as you can see, I've got from here to here, that is like skimpy, icky hair. So what I have been doing is I wash my natural hair, and I do not use any heat. I don't blow it dry, nothing. I just use this. It's a leave-in molecular repair hair mask by K18. And if you guys have not tried this, you guys need to. Oh my gosh, my hair has been, I mean, this new hair is coming in like unbelievably healthy. It does not make your hair grow, but it rebuilds and repairs the damage that your hair has had done. So I use this on my hair, and then I just let it air dry. When it is dry, then I put in my hair extensions, and I'm very careful because I don't want the hair extensions to rip or, you know, like pull. So I make sure they're up, you know, closer where the healthy hair is. And I mean, it's going to have some damage, but it's better than heat. And my hair has been growing out so nicely. I mean, the healthy part has been this stuff here will eventually, I'll just keep trim until this stuff is nice and healthy. But anyway, you guys asked how, that's why I do it. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. It's so easy. Everyone's like, oh, doesn't that take like forever? Yeah, especially since I don't have to do anything else to my hair. I don't like blow dry it, curl it, do all that stuff. To do that, it would be forever. And I don't have to do that. So all I have to do in the morning is this. So what I do is I part, a little bit more it needs to be. So I part right above my ear, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. I'm gonna do it slow so you guys can see it, but normally I just like rush through it. But I take my fingers and I just do a circle around my head. And if you guys can see, I'll turn around so you can see it. See, I have this much hair. And because my hair is short and I want it to blend easily, I clip it up. And I have my little trusty rat tail comb. And I have my hairspray. And I get the cheap stuff because I don't use it like on the outer hair. I just use it to hold the wefts. But it is the Max Hold by Suave. So it's like super, super cheap. And anyway, so what I do is I take the hair and I just kind of lightly, not too much. Just kind of rat it a little bit, like backcombing, I guess it's called. Just enough to where it's not going to slide out, because my hair is super, super, super silky soft from using the rebuilder. And then I spray it just a little bit. Then I take a rubber band, doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter what kind. I normally use a silk rubber band, one of these that are silky, but I can't seem to find it right now. I have a feeling Thea borrowed it and I got to get it back. But anyway, get that hair out of the way. And I just make sure not to get this here. I mean, I have before and it's pulled and I don't like that feeling. So then I take the bottom half and I put a ponytail in it. And I don't braid it. I don't do anything else. I just put a pony in it. And that's it. And see, I'll show it to you. And this keeps that weight line from showing. So when all the hair comes down, then it doesn't have like this extra underneath. So that is why I do that. And then I take my hair extensions, which is a pretty doggone close match to my own hair. And this is human hair, and it is so soft and so amazing. I really want my own hair to grow out this pretty. I mean, I don't know. We will find out, won't we? Anyway, this is Goo Goo hair, but it is Remy hair. It is completely 100% human hair, and it is the good stuff. It's not the crappy stuff that you can get, on Amazon, and it's like all falls apart. I use the same hair over and over and over and over. My previous set is, and then I just kind of line it up. You can put it, don't want it too far down because it'll be too far from the roots, and then when you brush your hair, it'll get caught. Plus you want it up closer so it'll hold better. And then you just clip them in. Easy peasy. Nothing too groundbreaking about it. Let me show you. And that's the first web. And then, as you can guess, we go down for the next layer. And if you have curly hair, which I do not, you can flat iron the hair to make it blend in, which I find I don't need to do, and I'm trying to keep heat off this hair, so I avoid that at all cost. And I brush my hair and let it fall in its natural part, because anytime I try to do it over to the side or whatever, by the end of the day, it just keeps doing that. So it drives me crazy. So then the next one up, I just go about an inch higher and do it again. And bring it down. And it's not a lot of hair in between. Well, I mean, if you have thick hair, I guess it would be a lot of hair, but since I don't have a lot of hair, that's how it rolls. So anyway, I do the second layer up. And sometimes I have to stop and do it over because I don't get enough hair in, or whatever, but pretty much I've got it down to where I can just kind of feel it. I don't have to look at it or anything like that. And then I again do this. Now, to note, when I am not going to be filming or taking clothes off and on, which today I am, hence the hair extensions, I will not do this part. I'll just stick them in, because it's fine. If I'm just going to be sitting in front of the chair or on the camera all day, and I'm not doing reels and taking clothes off, taking them on, walking around, doing stuff, then I don't even bother doing this step. But then I take the second thing, and these I curl maybe once every third week, and the curls pretty much stay in because you're not sleeping in them, you're not laying in them, you're taking them out at night. So it's kind of perfect. It's like having clean hair all the time and curled hair all the time without having to curl it each day. And then the next layer goes in, and I kind of feel where the part is, like right here. I don't know if you can see that. And then I just kind of move it down just a little bit, center it, clip it, and clip it again. And there we have it, second layer. All right. Now the third layer, this is the part you have to be really careful with because you want to make sure that you have enough hair to go over the top because you don't want the wefts showing. And what I do, well, I'll show you when I get there. I have, let's see, I have the longer piece. Each piece gets, a little bit long, wider across. And then I have one piece. I'll show these next time I do my hair, but these are for thinner hair and they have an invisible seam. It is super, super thin. You cannot, super lightweight. These are a lot, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but these are very hefty. These hold more hair, it's thicker hair. This one's thinner, you can kind of see a little bit through it, and it's got a very, very thin, flat top. So I use this one, is from another set, but the blondes, this one is a lighter, this one's a little darker. I don't know if you can see that, but it's okay because when you put them together, it just looks like highlights. It's no big deal. So I do, let me see. So I get these opened, and what I found with these is before cancer, before doing all the treatments and gaining weight and doing all that kind of stuff, I had long, gorgeous blonde hair. And I loved it. My husband loves long hair. And I just I did not feel like myself. I wore wigs for a while, until the hair came back in enough. And then I started wearing extensions when it got long enough to, put them in. And I enjoyed it. It made me feel more like myself. And they send these cute little clips with it. So I love those things. I use them for everything. And then, but anyway, I didn't feel like myself. And the extensions made me feel like I gained a little bit of my own previous before cancer self back. And I love it. And they're fun. They're not any big commitment. You don't have to wear them if you don't like them. You can wear them for special occasions, I'm trying to feel and not, because sometimes I put them in the wrong place, then I have to go back and figure it out again. But anyway, so by having extensions, it feels like I gave a little bit of myself back, especially as my hair was growing and I was getting impatient and everything and had to keep cutting each layer that came out. And these were just, they saved my morale, my self-confidence and everything. Made me feel so much better, and I just love them. Now I do them because my hair is really thin and I'm trying to grow out the healthy hair, and I don't want to have to use a lot of heat on the bottom hair. So these are the perfect solution. So anyway, I love it. And this is not a paid sponsorship whatsoever. They sent me these completely free. I did buy, I have been buying hair extensions for years, and I have been using them for years. If you've watched my videos, you will see this. So when they reached out and they said, hey, we'd like to gift you these, I was like, I'm so excited. So anyway, yeah, this is the last piece. This is the skinny piece. And I am going to, this is the thickest part of the hair. And this is where sometimes if you want, you can curl the top hair into it, but I'm going to show you. I do not, but you can if you want. So let's see. I want to make sure that I've got enough hair on top to cover it. Now those are really thin, so you can get pretty close to the top if you really want. But I do let's see, kind of right around the crown, like a U shape. See where all the hair, this is all my healthy hair right here. I do not want that to be ratted or anything. This is the hair that is going to stay on my head after the other part grows out and I, you know, cut it. My goal is to let it grow nice and healthy to about here and then do like a cute little bob. That is the goal. And then for special occasions or whenever I feel like it, I can add these in. But these are making the growing out process so easy. Now see how much hair I've got here? So I go and I just, once again, now this part here is so silky. So I kind of like try to make sure that I've got some roughy, you know, roughness in there so it doesn't like slide out. That is the whole purpose of doing this, all right? And open, see they just pop open. And these things are very, very, very strong, I'm telling you. These are not going to slide out of your hair if you do it right. And what I really like about the Goo Goo hair is their little clips. They're longer, so they go slide more into the hair and hold on better. Some of them are like shorter and I don't feel like they grab as well, but these absolutely do. And let's do this last thing up here. And I kind of feel like right here where the part is, so I don't put it on top of the hair. And I clip. And you got to make sure there's no ruffles in between, like, you know, like this. Like I can feel a ruffle there. Let's undo that. And clip. And I kind of comb down and then clip. And over here, I get that hair out of the way. I comb down, clip, comb down, and clip. Okay, let me show you. So here is, it's just nice and smooth. And luckily my hair on top is thicker than it is on bottom, or else I'd have to use the thin ones a lot more. And then I just brush it over the top and feel to make sure it's all covered, which it is. And then I just brush them together. And that is the back section. Now, the last two pieces, actually there's 4 pieces, but literally I most often, unless I'm gonna be like filming, I need to do my eyebrows. Anyway, unless I'm filming a woohoo thing, then I don't even do it. So these pieces here are only 2 clips and they are kind of beveled at the edges. They kind of go down right here. So it kind of gives you a, like a, you know, layered look or something. All right, so now I take one side at a time, and you can part it. That would make a lot of sense, but I don't. I just kind of feel, and I bring that over, and I brush it all in. Look how nice that blends, even without the piece in there. And then I take the top piece, now this one is the one I worry about the most because it's not good for your hair. So I'm trying to, you know, put it a little bit further back and not so close to here in the baby hairs because all these are growing in. So I try to keep those apart and make sure that they don't like get pulled on as much. And then I undo these. Now see, a lot of people put it really close, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to. I put it back further because I don't want it to ruin the little front hairs. And I clip, and voila. Okay, now to the other side, I kind of like leave that up so I can see where I did it so it's even, you know, because I don't want it to be awkward. I want it to be even on each side. Put those down. I think that's good. The first couple times you do it, you're like, what the heck? This is not working. But it took me like maybe 2 times of playing around with it, and that was it. It was like, okay. Oops, I just brushed it out. What a ding dong. Took me like 2 times to figure it out, and then after I kind of figured out the placement, then it's just like I could do it in the car, I could do it in my sleep probably. And I don't want this there. Hold on. Get that up there. And here we go for the last piece. Now I'll show you the other pieces. I'm not going to put them in because I don't really want them in. I could put them in and it'll look thicker on the side, but it just kind of feels like overkill. But if you have very thick hair, then you might want to add the other 2 pieces in. So let's see. Make sure it's back a little bit, and always put the first one in so you get a placement, because sometimes if I put this one in first, then I get it too close. So I got to make sure that I am putting it, you know, whoops, like right now, that's too far close. That's too far forward. I don't want that. And I bring forward my fuzzy hair so I don't get them stuck in there. There we go. That's better. And having these little tiny pieces is natural anyway. Most people have like little fuzzies right there, so it doesn't really matter. And then I take this down and I brush it out. And a lot of times I will do the bangs just only, and I'll curl it around the front. Now, this right here, I put one of them too close. So this is where these come in. There's 2 singles. And these you just clip in wherever, like for example, like right here. I don't want that to show. Even though it's not that bad, it's not that big of a deal. A lot of, like if I wasn't showing you how to do them, I would probably just skip it and tuck that behind my ear, and then there we go. But I'm going to show you how I do it, just so you do see the whole picture of how it works. And let's see. And another reason I don't like to do it, because it's this little hair like in the front, and again, I don't like to do this to it. So we're just going to do it really quick so you can see like that. And then you can bring it down. And voila, you have hair. Now this one I think looks fine. If I do this, watch. I don't think it makes that big of a difference, you guys. You know what I mean? I think that it's fine either way, but since we did that side, we better do this side. And I am filming today, so I guess it would probably look better if I didn't have anything sticking out. But honestly, I don't think I've ever felt like this has been a problem at all. And let me see, try not to get this part in. And last but not least, clip, and down we go. And I'm going to take that little tiny bit that I didn't want to put in and tuck it behind my ear just so it doesn't get in the way. And there we have it. Hair done. And let me show you the back. Hold on. See if I could brush it. Half the time I don't even look at the back. I asked my husband to look at it and I'm like, does that look okay? Let me grab the mirror. And there's the back. And if you want, you can go through and you can curl some of this and blend it in and, you know, do whatever you want. But basically, I mean, I don't, because it just is an extra step that I don't feel like I really need. So there you have it. That's how I do my hair extensions. Now, I did want to show you, I've got this new perfume I've been trying out. We're going to talk about it later, but I'm trying, it's called Lady on Fire, and it is inspired by an iconic scent. This one is inspired by Symphony. So, I've never tried Symphony, but if you have, let me know. Anyway, I'm going to use that for today. Not that when you film, you can smell me, but I can smell me, and I like to smell good. There we go. Ooh, it does smell good. All right. That's it. Now, you guys, I am going to bid you adieu and see you in the next one because I've got a lot of work to do and a lot of editing to do. And so I can get this video up to you. My husband is going to be gone for 2 weeks at the end of this week. So I'm on my own with editing, filming, and everything. So I'm a little tiny bit nervous, especially with all the channel changes and stuff. Oops, I forgot to put my lip gloss on. Hold on. Oh, I got a right tooth. This stuff, you know what? This stuff is like 24 hours, but it comes off my teeth, and then it's like, because it's so good and it stays so good, it doesn't ever want to come off. All right, there we go. It is 24 Hour Color by Maybelline. My favorite, while we're talking lips here, my favorite is the Chanel. This stuff is amazing. Doesn't come off, moisturizes your lip, is, oh my gosh, the best ever. But it's also very pricey. So I wanted to try to find something that would stay on that wouldn't be as pricey. And this is as close as I have found so far. But it still doesn't compare to the real deal. But what can you do, right? All right. Now, this video was all about my why I eat plant-based. And the reason being, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you guys asked for it. You guys requested a part 3 of why I do what I do and how we do it. So that is in response to you guys. That is why we did this. Now, in the next episode or the following one, I'm not quite sure. I have to look at the schedule. We will actually do some vegan meals, and I'll show you how I put my menus together, some apps that I use, some books that I buy, and that I depend on heavily to make all of this plant eating journey doable and not stressful to me, because I am not a cook. I do not like to cook. I am not a good cook, and this has been a challenge the last 13 years, and I think I've got it down to where it is stress-free and easy, so I'm going to pass that along to you guys. All right. This is, oh, and if you have not subscribed, I noticed we had 46 new subscribers since the last video. And I want to say thank you and welcome. And I would love, 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 love if you are not subscribed. I would love it if you would click that subscribe and throw me a thumbs up if you found any worth in this, because our channel is growing and my content is growing, and it's becoming more health focused. You know, what happens after you have cancer. All of the cancer channels that are out there, a lot of them, they are there for a season to support someone with cancer while they are going through cancer. But unfortunately, many of these people either pass away, or when they are healthy, they discontinue their channels and they move on, which 100% I get. My goal for my channel is always been to show people that not everybody dies of cancer, number one, and not everybody dies of stage 2 cancer, number 2, and number 3, there are different things that happen after you've had cancer and different chronic illnesses that appear, and the side effects of all the years of treatment. And I want to show how you deal with those things. And so even if you don't have cancer, if you're not supporting someone with cancer, if you have a chronic illness, or you just want to get healthy and you want to feel better, you want to feel great about yourself, then hit subscribe, because this is the place for you. And I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to move on and get to work. So this is Too Cute for Cancer, signing off.